9 interesting facts about South Korea. A money-making industry, and Seoul is no longer the capital. South Korea, officially known as the Republic of Korea, is a country situated in the southern part of the Korean peninsula, in the region of East Asia. From a map perspective, the country is bordered by the Yellow Sea to the west and the Sea of Japan to the east. Its southern tip is located at the Korea Strait and the East China Sea. In the north, this country shares its only land border with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. South Korea is a relatively small country, which is 100,210 square kilometers, and it is home to around 51,565,000 people. The majority ethnic group in the country is Koreans, also referred to as South Koreans, who constitute 99% of the population. This demographic uniformity has contributed to a relatively homogeneous cultural and ethnic society. Throughout its history, South Korea has faced many periods of instability. However, following the signing of the Korean War armistice in 1953, the nation entered an era of significant construction and economic development. Once a poor country devastated by war, it has emerged as one of the 4 Asian economic dragons today. According to the latest statistics from the International Monetary Fund in 2022, South Korea's GDP is over 1.720 trillion, making it a country with a high standard of living and a per capita GDP of $33,390. This is also the birthplace of major conglomerates such as Samsung, Hyundai, Kia, LG, Lotte, CJ, SK, and Shinsegae. However, alongside the aspects that the world admires, South Korea also has its dark sides and hidden issues that not everyone is aware of. In today's video, let's explore 10 interesting facts about this country for a broader understanding of the land of kimchi. South Korea and North Korea remain in a state of war. This war only came to a temporary halt in 1953 with the signing of the Korean ceasefire agreement. According to this agreement, all military operations on the Korean peninsula are to be suspended. The 38th parallel has been established as the border dividing North and South Korea, with a demilitarized zone set up to separate the two countries. However, from the very moment it was signed, this ceasefire agreement has been seen as having numerous legal loopholes and being of little practical value. Both parts of Korea are still regarded as being in a state of war since the involved parties have yet to sign a genuine peace treaty. Recently, the Global Firepower Defense Analysis Organization ranked 145 countries based on military strength for 2023, with South Korea and North Korea standing at 6th and 34th in the world, respectively. Despite being ranked much lower, North Korea's status as one of the world's nuclear powers continues to cause concern for South Korea and its allies. The Korean peninsula has thus never been free of tension, particularly in light of the increasingly strong alliance between the US and South Korea, manifested through visits between the leaders of the two countries and large-scale military exercises involving their armed forces. North Korea has also ramped up its retaliatory actions by continually conducting missile tests. As it stands today, the demilitarized zone on the Korean peninsula is considered one of the most dangerous and heavily guarded areas in the world. It grants border guards on both sides the authority to handle violators without any warning. This demilitarized zone has also been cleared of landmines, but both sides remain heavily fortified with military forces and heavy weaponry. The isolation and lack of human presence have allowed nature to recover and develop into the diverse ecosystem we see today. More than 6,100 species of animals and plants have been found living in the DMZ, including reptiles, birds, and various plants. Of the 267 species that are at risk of extinction in South Korea, approximately 38% are found in this area, which includes notable species like mountain goats, sika deer, and golden eagles. Many organizations worldwide have called for the conservation of biodiversity in the Korean demilitarized zone. But this process is certainly not easy. as it requires cooperation and compromise from both sides. Every man in South Korea is required to serve in the military. All male citizens of South Korea aged 18 to 35 are required to complete at least 2 years of military service, provided they meet health requirements, regardless of their social status or public presence. Female citizens are not required to serve in the military, but they are allowed to join voluntarily. In reality, South Korea and North Korea are still in a state of ceasefire, meaning that the war has not actually ended. As a result, South Korea remains in a constant state of high alert and is prepared for the possibility of war breaking out at any moment. This is why the military conscription laws in South Korea are particularly stringent. Typically, when a male citizen turns 18, he is required to register for military service. If he is in good health, he has the option to enlist right away or to defer his military obligations as long as it is completed within the eligible age for conscription. Individuals who evade military service often end up with a criminal record and may face prison time. Additionally, they face numerous challenges in their job search, and there have been many instances of individuals having significant careers that impact the public. However, for many years, South Korean artists have made the mistake of dodging military service. This action not only sparks outrage and boycotts, but also lands them in prison. However, the strict conscription system in South Korea does allow for some exceptions to military service. These exceptions are granted only when an individual has made special achievements that bring pride to the nation. A notable example is Park Ji-sung, along with his teammates, who were exempted from military service after helping the South Korean men's national football team reach the semifinals of the 2002 World Cup. This is a small country with more than 3,000 islands. In terms of geography, the territory of Korea can be divided into 2 distinct regions. The southern and western parts are home to coastal plains, whereas the eastern region is characterized by mountains that account for about 70% of the country's area. The 2 primary mountain ranges in Korea are the Taebaek and Sobaek ranges. The Taebaek range, in particular, serves as the backbone of the Korean peninsula, stretching along the east side of the peninsula and traversing the territories of both North and South Korea. The Sobaek mountain range stretches approximately 350 kilometers, starting at the Taebaek Mountains and extending southwest across the country. The mountain ranges of South Korea generally slope steeply to the east and gradually level out to the west. While the terrain is rugged with many daunting mountains, South Korea is geologically very stable compared to Japan or the northern provinces of China, with no active volcanoes and very rarely experiencing strong earthquakes. Statistics indicate that 2/3 of the South Korean population climbs mountains at least once a year, while the remaining third participates in this activity on a monthly basis. In 2018, South Koreans spent the most money on climbing gear, totaling around $2.3 billion, rather than on movie tickets or cosmetics. Furthermore, since this country is bordered by the sea on 3 sides, its coastline stretches for 2,413 kilometers and includes over 3,000 islands, primarily small and uninhabited, situated off the western and southern coasts. Jeju Island is the largest island in the country, covering an area of 1,846 square kilometers and currently home to approximately 700,000 residents. The island was formed by volcanic eruptions approximately 2 million years ago. It used to be a remote area compared to the developed urban centers of the country, with the primary livelihood of its residents being fishing. However, as the tourism industry boomed, Jeju Island awakened and has now become one of the most popular tourist destinations in South Korea. Additionally, Hallasan, a volcano on the island that rises 1,950 meters above sea level, is not only known as the highest point on Jeju Island, but is also referred to as the roof of South Korea. This majestic volcano has been dormant for over 1,000 years and is a popular destination for many tourists visiting Jeju. Besides Hallasan, other notable attractions in Jeju include the impressive Jusangjeoli basalt columns and beautiful beaches with crystal-clear waters, such as Jungmun Beach and Haeopje Beach. South Korea's entertainment industry is a money-making machine. In contrast to the quiet and mysterious presence of North Korea, South Korean culture is progressively spreading across the globe. Hallyu is a term first coined by journalists in China, which literally means Korean wave. The Korean wave initially emerged from the popularity of Korean dramas, known as K-dramas, Korean music called K-pop, and reality television shows across Asia, eventually turning into a global phenomenon. This massive cultural wave has shaped the important entertainment industry we see today, making significant contributions to the economy of this country. One of the primary reasons for the current popularity of entertainment culture stems from strong support from the South Korean government, which has implemented various policies since the late 1990s to establish itself as a leading cultural exporter, a market that the United States had dominated for nearly a century prior. Among those, K-pop has been and continues to be a key factor in bringing the South Korean entertainment industry to the global market, as many famous music groups from Korea have achieved significant success worldwide. Economic experts estimate that the K-pop industry generates around $10 billion for South Korea each year. Today, there are several major entertainment companies in South Korea, including SM Entertainment, YG Entertainment, JYP Entertainment, and HYBE Corporation. These companies manage and train artists, helping them become role models, idols, and fashion icons for their fans. The key to success lies in this country's unique training model. Entertainment companies tend to recruit talent from a young age and then invest 4 to 5 years, or even up to 10 years, in developing them into well-rounded idols. However, the selection and training process is incredibly rigorous. Statistics indicate that the average monthly expenditure for each trainee in South Korea's entertainment industry was around 1.2 million won, roughly $894 in 2020. Despite the challenging training days, once a music group debuts and gains popularity, they can undoubtedly generate significant revenue for their managing companies. Album sales create a significant revenue stream for music groups, and the sales of music albums and concerts are also crucial sources of income for entertainment companies. Entertainment companies have long expanded beyond their home countries to organize concerts in various Asian nations and several major cities in the West. Success and fame may seem glamorous, but behind the scenes, many entertainment idols are grappling with significant challenges, including grueling work schedules, sexual harassment, strict control over their private lives, and a near-total loss of freedom. This is the alarming dark side of the country's leading entertainment industry. Even more troubling is that in recent years, the rate of mental health issues among celebrities in South Korea has been rising, leading to numerous heartbreaking incidents. Korean youth and a life reminiscent of Squid Game. The hit show Squid Game revolves around a group of individuals who, in the face of overwhelming debt, are willing to take part in a deadly game where the winner takes home tens of millions of dollars, while the loser pays with their life. Tragically, this concept reflects a pressing issue that exists in contemporary South Korean society. Despite its remarkable economic growth and worldwide entertainment achievements, this country is currently grappling with significant economic and social issues. Although it has a relatively high average income, its citizens are facing a staggering amount of debt. The consumer debt crisis in South Korea is worsening, with the majority of its victims being young people. One of the underlying reasons might be that society here places an excessive emphasis on success, outward appearances, and material living. As a result, people find themselves caught up in fashion trends, consumer products, and anything that can enhance their image in the eyes of others. In recent years, around 134,000 South Koreans declare bankruptcy annually, which means that for every 300 adults, one South Korean goes bankrupt. The majority of these individuals are young adults in their 20s, who lack stable careers but are easily caught up in a materialistic lifestyle. For young people fortunate enough to come from wealthy families, pursuing a flashy lifestyle is not an issue. However, for those who are less fortunate, the pressure to compete can lead them to lose both their careers and futures as they fall into the trap of credit debt or high-interest loans to sustain their extravagant lifestyles. Even the lowest-income individuals in South Korea find it easy to obtain credit cards. Looking back to the 1990s, the South Korean government even lowered taxes on credit card purchases to encourage spending. Since then, the use of credit cards has gradually increased over time, making it easy for many people to spend on credit and fall into a cycle of unmanageable debt. By 2019, the average South Korean owned about 4 credit cards. Quick credit stories have become commonplace, as you can receive a credit limit of $3,000 within just 5 minutes, with an enticing interest rate of only 0.01% for a limited time. Beneath the bright lights of development, thousands, even millions of young people are trapped in a cycle of debt. The tragedy of these young individuals chasing after luxury and opulence has turned them into victims of financial pressure, leading to dire consequences when they can no longer keep up with payments. Today, Mapo Bridge in Seoul has become known as the Bridge of Death. From 2014 to 2018, over 800 people took their own lives here, the majority of whom were young individuals burdened by debt. Seoul will no longer be the capital. In the future, Seoul will cease to be the capital of South Korea. Back in 2003, then-President Roh Moo-hyun proposed a plan to relocate the capital to a more central location in the country, moving it away from Seoul, which is the current capital. The primary aim of this initiative is to alleviate the severe overcrowding and traffic congestion in Seoul, as well as to promote investment in central regions, fostering balanced development across all areas of the nation. This brings worries about the current capital being close to North Korea, a country with which we once had a strong bond, but whose relationship has soured over time. Moving the capital to a more distant location could reduce the threat to the nation's central leadership in the event of war between the two sides. However, this ambitious plan faced significant opposition from the then-opposition party, the Grand National Party. The Constitutional Court also rejected the idea of relocating the capital, yet Roh Moo-hyun remained determined and did not give up. If we can't move the capital, we need to find another place to share the burden with Seoul. Consequently, he modified the plan to relocate most ministries and government agencies to the central region of the country. Currently, Sejong City is set to become an administrative capital, rather than a capital in every sense. Located centrally in the country, it is approximately 120 kilometers south of the capital, Seoul, and is bordered by South Chungcheong and North Chungcheong provinces. Sejong covers a modest area of 465.23 square kilometers, which is about 3/4 the size of Seoul. As of 2020, the population of Sejong was around 350,000, significantly lower than Seoul's nearly 10 million residents, making it the most densely populated city in the country. The name Sejong is derived from King Sejong, the 4th king of the Joseon dynasty. He is recognized as one of the greatest kings in Korean history and the creator of the Korean alphabet. At this time, both the government and the people of Korea have high hopes for Sejong to become an ideal city, potentially even more livable than Seoul. Currently, many central government agencies are being gradually moved from Seoul to Sejong, including the Prime Minister's office. South Korea has allocated over $20 billion for the construction of the city, which will be implemented in 3 phases, with a completion target of 2030. This initiative aims not only to establish Sejong as the new administrative center of the country, but also to fulfill the ambition of creating one of the most advanced and modern smart cities in South Korea, the country with the highest addiction to cosmetic surgery in the world. In addition to the entertainment industry, South Korea's beauty industry is thriving and has made a substantial contribution to the country's economy. Many people even regard the beauty industry as a flagship sector of South Korea, with its products being the beauty of individuals. The explosion of beauty salons, both large and small, across South Korea is not just to meet the beauty needs of locals. It's also to attract clients from distant countries seeking transformation. It's accurate to say that South Korea has developed a reputation for being a nation with a strong obsession with cosmetic surgery. Reports indicate that as many as 20% of South Korean women acknowledge that they have undergone cosmetic procedures. Beauty standards in South Korea include features like large double-eyelid eyes, high noses, and small V-line faces. Many women undergo painful surgical procedures to enhance their beauty, primarily to gain confidence when appearing in public, to secure better job opportunities, or to attract an ideal partner. While cosmetic surgery can completely transform a person's appearance from ordinary to beautiful, it also carries serious risks. In addition to the high costs, the potential for complications can be quite dangerous, and in some cases, it can even be life-threatening. Not only do they have to be seen as weak, but men in South Korea also have a strong interest in beauty. The impact of idol culture, music, and films has heightened the importance of male beauty standards in South Korea, leading some young men to become passionate about makeup. For people who are unfamiliar with men wearing makeup, the sight of a men's beauty salon can seem quite unusual. However, this indicates a significant shift in the country's understanding of beauty. Countries with the strangest foods in the world. In addition to popular dishes like kimbap and tteokbokki, not everyone is aware that South Korea is also home to some of the most bizarre foods in the world. Typically, it can be mentioned raw octopus. Perhaps just hearing the name of this dish, many people have also imagined how to eat it, which is to eat it raw. And perhaps this is also the horror point of this dish. To use this dish, people often add a little sauce and spices to the octopus and enjoy them directly. However, this dish will be extremely dangerous when the octopus's tentacles are still wriggling, and if you don't chew it thoroughly, it will stick to your throat, causing you to choke and have difficulty breathing. This is also an important recommendation for those who want to enjoy this horror dish because there have been many deaths caused by live octopus. In addition to live octopus, there are many equally terrifying dishes, such as toxic pufferfish soup, silkworm larvae, and stinky soup. However, these comparisons only hold true from an international perspective. The country has a unique heating system. In contrast to heating systems in Western countries, anyone who has lived in traditional Korean houses is often amazed by the warmth felt inside and under the floors, all without any visible heating elements. Even in winter, when temperatures can drop below freezing, Koreans continue to eat and sleep on the floor without fear of feeling cold. This is due to the ondol heating system, a unique Korean method that works by transferring heat from firewood into a room through a network of thermal channels installed beneath the floor. Originally, the ondol was designed to heat specific areas within a room, but by the 13th century, it had been adapted to warm the entire space. Today, people in South Korea are still accustomed to underfloor heating systems and the ondol heating system, which has only seen slight modifications, such as the replacement of insulation pipes with more advanced technology. And here are 9 interesting facts about the country of South Korea. Goodbye, and I'll see you all in the next videos.